finish the deal. Influenced by Mike with every sickness reveal. I won't pay back, fuck the dollar bill. Remain calm as the pressure build. Die to endure until I let this pump whistle at my foes in memory of every tale. I only live to do my master's will. I.S.U.P.K, motherfucker, straight but made greater. In my return, left through my mistakes. Every error was a lesson learned. Now I don't rule, let's see, get approved. Won't take a step firm, arm and take. It was made for our sakes. March like a tank. One step will make the ground shake. My people sick in their head, Lord, let this truth spread like an outbreak. Crackers can't escape. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. No more payback for the scars in the slave memoirs. Till Christ arrive, I can't let it slide. Ignore the lies. The only free will that's before your eyes is life or death, nigga, you decide. This heaven was made for me and my fellow. I'm patiently waiting with my eyes on the sparrow, and I pull the trigger while my lips kiss the barrel. Before I ever let a white bitch do on this brotherhood, I swear I never let go. And fuck that silver spoon, got too much love for the dead. I die for the cause, just to hear them angels applaud. And I'm true by every word I say, cause I know my victory on the way. You want it, nigga, walk this way. This life may be hard, but I can't give up. On my nigga hard, and I won't give up. Could you tell me about this God that you feel so much? And why you look so good? It's real, I be walking with them angels. Boys like they be hard, but I can't give up. On my nigga hard, and I won't give up. Tell me about this God that you feel so much. And why you look so tough? It's real, I be walking with them angels. Boy, I can't be touched. Can't do in the clutch. They hate when they can't doubt us. We princes of the power, what you know about us? Evil all around us, but a nigga straight, I told you I can't be touched. Only angels walk at my pace. I'm grateful for the words that had me delivered. I'm hungry for the glory, but I ain't eating till I feed my next. One West, what I die for. Attire out the book of numbers, this rifle from the Archangel Michael. My niggas rebels, you can't deny them. It's 144. I be running to and fro with the Allah higher. My U.P.K soldiers ain't no folding, no pretending. We in it for them crowns, for friends, we want dominion. In the election ascension, I hope I make it through. It may be hard, but I can't give up. On my nigga hard. About this God that you feel so much, and why you look so good. It's real, I be walking with your angels. Boy, I got it. It be hard, but I can't give up. On my nigga hard, and I won't give up. Could you tell me about this God that you feel so much, and why you look so good? It's real, I be walking with your angels. Boy, I can't be touched. Warrior with the hands, that's what I'm all about. Hunger in my eyes, vengeance in my mouth. They don't want no altercation. Situation gon' get critical. It's best that you be easy. The end gon' be biblical. Look, flow like a river. It's something like a miracle. Royalty in my veins, loyalty in my ways. Payback in every breath, plus revenge in my heart. The truth in every word. Bring light into the dark. And I ain't never lukewarm. Shit, I blazing in the season. Got plenty food for thought. Just gotta watch who I'm feeding. Now been walking with them angels. So I guess I got this pistol for no reason. Niggas bad, it won't make me weak. Nah, it won't make me slack off. These niggas baby fat soft. Better bear witness or back off. I be ripping shit like sackcloth. Dumb dogs all barked out. Behind me say I'll come for. No room for emotion. So I pour my heart out. This road hard, but I intend to stay. And if it ain't U.P.K, then they in the way. My niggas righteous. They real. They down to something. Flow so deep, they drown a motherfucker. He say he in the truth. to my own. Plus what they believe, hard for me to follow. No rank me body to live and sleep in hollow. So when they ask I'm U.P.K, tell them absolutely. And I ain't trimming my ways for nothing. Gotta execute me. Cause I can never die with my tail tucked between my watching my daughters tucked in their bed. They so smart. And Alana, she's so beautiful. But they ain't like other babies. And they daddy far from usual. Now I'm missing cause I'm about my father's business. It ain't about this shit I used to do. And that natty ain't natty. The tan never cease. See, without wisdom, this world make you weak. I found out that the truth was bitter. The lies are sweet. Tried everything. I guess me and Yohanna had to meet. Now I make the blind see. And I make the dead speak. And teach both my little girls the day that they lie with a man. They better bring their bloody bed sheets. Chaos match the time. This Glock match my handpiece. And I ain't trying to take him out, but I will defend this house. Or take a check. 144 in that black trench on some hitman shit. She call me 47. Praying for Armageddon. Me and my soldiers dressed for the wedding. Fuck the fame. Ask why, tell them I'm loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign. Loyal to the king. I want that straight lane to break the chain. Loyal to the king. The devils can't have me, bitch. I'm loyal to the king. Bring that hot flame, new bitch. They loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign. Lord to the K. I want that straight lane to break the chain. Lord to the K. The devils can't have me, bitch. I'm Lord to the K. Bring that hot flame, new bitch. They Lord to the K. We about to bombard their whole operation. Certified priests prophesying this my occupation. Ain't the truth outside. That's why we on the corner crying aloud, looking hostile. This U.P.K style, they stop now. Find this warfare, couldn't last one round. Let the oppressed rise, and let the rich mourn till the sundown. Enough with this shit, about to make it hot, call it compound. This for my niggas, put the guns in the drums down. Dwelling in peace till the Lord call for the blood. Hey, try to decide my death. And got beside yourself, swore draw for what you perform. How you gon' hide yourself? Devil got to die for his lies and his dreams. Ain't got no love for them crackers. Nah, just cruel intentions. And then my father's house is spinning mansions. I got plenty bitch. What the your features? This your death sentence. I'm talking real slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter. That they do not rise. And fear the world will lie. Ain't die for your skin, you gon' die for your pride. That's why I'm talking to you. Going for your life, try to destroy my people. You gotta pay the price, nigga. You gotta hear, let them hear. Till the devils let me in this deal. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah. Now they shook from vicious words out this handed book. About to take these rappers back to school. My flow stand and hook. They crossed the line, ain't no coming back. The only thing sweet is the honey jet. Righteous is the Lord. Give me rest from my sorrow. And hand down death for them devils. There's no tomorrow. Why? Cause they violence leave a man a stiff corpse. You see a flag in the bench. I see horns in a pitchfork. Go ahead. So please believe it. The white man is a demon. And I ain't gon' vote for them to free me. No, that man is still weak. They call him purple. That's why this knife till they broke like ceiling. You got this nigga on his knees. They wanna have peace. We screaming, let this bitch burn at 1,000 degrees. I'm laying in the bosom of revenge. I told her I'd do anything she please. As I squeeze on the double D's. What you mean? I'm talking to you. Slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter, yeah, slaughter. That they do not rise. And fear the world will lie. Ain't die for your skin. You gon' die for your pride. That's why I'm talking to you. So going for your life, try to destroy my people. You gotta pay the price, nigga. You gotta hear. let them hear. Till the members that they get this The police just shot for no apparent reason. No reason at all. They asked for license and registration. That's the police officer over there that did it. With the black on. They do shit because they got the handcuffs. I can't believe they just did this. I'm fucking. You understand? You done found a new breed of Hebrews that stand and walk with the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, and we don't care who we got to come up against. You ain't standing before this truth. You understand? We done took them all on and gonna continue to take them all on. My rulers here. Surrounded by Edomites, lost a lot of truths to this tree of life. Open up the book just to see I'm right. Reminiscing on my ancestors, all those ships who had to plead for life. Took us to a place where ain't never safe there. Poisoning my food to put.
Shalom. The Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, come out 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command GEN.YAHANNA. Since 1969, it's like we've been teaching the truth of the Bible to our people. It's in so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, known as the 12 tribes of Israel, and according to the Bible, the only people that the Lord gives a damn about on the face of this earth. And of course, our oppressor, the same one that invaded our lands in 1492, the same one that forced us, on the trail of tears and made us slaves and forced us into the reservations, is nothing more than the devil that the Bible speaks of. And today is the Monday night history class. So we're going to be getting into the book of Deuteronomy. You stand getting into these curses. We can understand not only who it is that the 12 tribes of Israel are, tribes, even with all of the archaeological evidence, historical evidence, and even after, we prove with these curses who it is the 12 tribes. And it's also important to show us why it is that we live under these curses as a nation, and why we'll continue to live under them for as long as we defy the Lord and follow in our own ways. You understand? Us as a people, not just, so-called Native Indians, but so-called African Americans and, so-called Hispanics, we all got to recognize that there's only one way for us to come up out of this condition that we're in as a nation, and it's not going to be by joining hand in hand with everybody, saying I love you and, all this other nonsense. It's not going to be praying to the ancestors or doing what it is that we think is right. So the only way that we can come up out of this condition that we've been in for 400 years, So this is 400 years of us saying that we love our oppressor, 400 years of praying to the ancestors and to the spirits, and doing what it is that we think is right. All of which ultimately failed our people. You're saying it does nothing more than dig a deeper hole for our nation, for the future generations. Saying we got to come back to doing what the Lord has demanded of us, what the Lord has told us to do. One more second. Minute, Salakia. All right, we're going to be in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15 to start off. Give you a second to get there. All right, let's get started. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. It's like, but it shall come to pass, which we're about to get into. And we can see for hundreds of years how it is that we have, came against the Lord, how we have not kept his laws, statutes, and commandments. Saying so that time is obviously upon us as a nation. And this will also help with, showing who it is that is not the Lord's chosen people. You understand? Because if you don't fall underneath these curses right here, you're not of the 12 tribes of Israel. He's saying you're not who it is the Lord gave the covenant to. You're not, who it is the Lord gave the laws, statutes, and commandments to. You understand? Because it was prophesied in the Bible, in this holy book right here, that if the children of Israel defied the Lord, they'd go under, multiple curses. You understand? They'd be slaves. You understand? That they'd be slain by their enemies. You understand? All these different things that has happened to us in the past, even up until today, it's all in this book right here. if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. And so we didn't sit there and listen to what it was the Lord told us to do as a nation. And so a perfect example of that, let's say today, for example, which is what a lot of us just got done doing. When I say us, I mean, our people out in the world, those of us not in the truth that know what it is the Lord expects from us. So a lot of us just got done celebrating Father's Day. Which is something that the Lord told us not to do as a nation. Everything that is expected of us is laid out in this book right here. You understand? You can look at the Ten Commandments. You can look in the book of Leviticus at the laws that the Lord had laid out before us. You understand? Father's Day is a man-made holiday, of course, that was made up by our oppressor. You understand? Us as a nation, we gotta, realize that every holiday that our oppressor celebrates, as well as these other nations, like they are just pure wickedness. You understand? You should love your father more than one day out of the week. You understand? You should give him glory more, slakia, more than one day out of a year, slakia. You understand? You should be giving him glory more than one day out of a year. You understand? Giving him, more than once a year. Let alone that one time a year that you give glory to your father, that you celebrate him, however it is you want to put it. It's something that our oppressor has told us to do. And so our oppressor told us, oh yeah, you gotta celebrate your father on this year, on that year. You understand? When just going from the past and what has happened, same with the slavery, with the biological warfare, with all of the massacres, the forced marches, you understand, and the damn reservations, and as well as the boarding schools, and just a plethora of other things that we can go off of. We should not be wanting to follow nor love our oppressor in any type of way, just because of the crimes that he's committed against our nation. It's about the principle. And so many of us, while we were out here celebrating, Father's Day, celebrating a holiday of our oppressor, we tend to ignore, we say the mishaps that happen to our people on these days. For instance, I believe it was in Chicago. There was a mass shooting. There was 104 people got shot. I believe 14 people were in critical condition. Then before you sit there and say, "Oh well, Chicago, it ain't part of the res," you're saying there is an abundance of Gadites up in Chicago. You're saying there are hundreds, and you say thousand and up. You're saying there's a good chunk of us up in Chicago, just like there's a good chunk of us in any of these cities across America. You understand? We always flock to the treasured cities in these lands. You understand? So it's hard telling how many, not only Native fathers and brothers were shot up there, but it's hard telling how many of our, so-called African American brothers were shot, Hispanic brothers. When if they weren't celebrating Father's Day, we're up there, trying to be worshiped like some goddamn god. And if you didn't convince them to go up there to be worshipped, then none of our people would have been caught in that conflict. None of us would have been caught in that crossfire right there. But because we decided to go against what the Lord told us to do, I mean, we got punished for it as a people. You understand? Now there's families mourning. There's brothers, sisters as a people. And a perfect example of that is Thanksgiving, which celebrates the slaughter of our people, so-called Native Indians, the tribe of Gad. And if these people would make a holiday that celebrates the ruthless killings of not only our warriors, but the women of our nation. You understand? The mothers, the grandmothers. You understand? Our children, our elderly. And that's what Thanksgiving celebrates specifically. So if they're going to celebrate that, then why would we follow in any? You're saying Father's Day is no different. Saying because really that brings down the position of the father in the household. Because it makes us believe, man, our fathers ain't shit 364 days out of the year. Well, then there's that one day, hey, you the greatest father ever. After we just been looking down on him for an entire year. It's lucky. It's lucky. To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. Instead of following after the ways of our oppressor and partaking in the celebrations of the land, that's something that the Lord told us not to do. You understand? The scriptures say, I despise your feast days. You understand? These feast days are not in this book right here, the Bible. All these different celebrations that are man-made, the Lord hates them all. And it just so happens that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians take part in all of these different feasts. That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So we decide to go out and celebrate Father's Day with our oppressor, with all these different heathens. And the Lord, just like the scripture says, he's going to send curses upon us. So you go out to get worshipped at night with your family. You understand? And next thing you know, you get shot up. You understand? You're in a mass shooting. So you go out to, partake in the celebrations, and next thing you know, you're being, profiled and chased down by some police officers that want your life. You understand? And I mean, it's just because there's been a global pandemic going on and, riots, civil unrest. That don't mean that cops stop hunting us as a people. You understand? If these people don't stop hunting us whenever they're at war with another nation, especially a detrimental war like the Revolutionary, Civil War II, and things like that, then there ain't no type of plague or civil unrest that's going to stop them from hunting us as well. So, and really, we don't just keep the traditions of our oppressor because and say it's a way of life for us. We don't do it because it helps us out as a nation. Really, we do it because we have no love for our own. So, which is why you have natives that go out and celebrate Thanksgiving even after knowing what it's about. You say, you just gotta let that sit in for a minute. I mean, if you look at any nation, nobody's going to celebrate the slaughtering of their people, the death of their nation. You think the Jewish man is going to go out and celebrate, a holiday that, say, like glorifies the death of their people? You understand? They're not going to go out and celebrate the Holocaust. It shows you not only the slave mentality, but just the minds of our people as a whole. That we prefer some what we call good taste in food over having some type of integrity to our people, to our nation. You understand? Only slaves would give up their integrity in order to not only make themselves be happy, but to make our oppressor happy. That just goes to show you the level of hatred that we truly have for our people. Let's skip down to verse 16. God. Verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city. And so, for instance, I'm gonna skip over the physical aspect we go through and go more towards the mental for this scripture. Yes, and so with what they got going on in all these different cities, with the tearing down of statues of Columbus and Confederate generals and slave masters. And the scriptures say that a gift destroys the heart. Slaki. I'm paraphrasing, of course. And this right here, what them devils are doing, tearing down these different statues, is truly, such a deceitful gift that they've given to us as a nation. Yes, and so for the Confederate leaders and the slave statues, of course, that's going to be for blacks as well as really Hispanics and Native Indians, because they've all caused some type of suffering to our people. But especially with the saying all of these different things is to really weaken whatever is to let us, is to make us put our guard down, essentially. These things, we think that with them tearing down these prominent figures in their nation, that they have been taught through the generations about these what they would call great men, we think that these people have changed. We think that they truly care about what it is that we feel, when nobody is going to just up and do away with not only a founding member of their country, but they're not going to get rid of those that have helped build their country to such great heights, which has made them the most prominent and powerful nation on the face of this earth today. We got to remember as a people that our oppressor always has some type of ulterior motive. And, and especially with what has been going on with the Black Lives Matter protests, the protests of George Floyd's killing, and saying all these different things, people to, get riled up and to take action. This is all really something to just calm the people down. You know what I'm saying? Because the littlest things can make us happy as a nation. You know what I'm saying? We sit there and we get, a bunch of damn women elected into the government and we're happy as a people. You know what I'm saying? We get, gay rights on the reservations and we get happy as a people. You're saying even if it don't affect the nation as a whole and something that is going to truly cause us to prosper, we consider it as a win as a nation. Just like whenever we've taken a treaty from our oppressor in the past, we take that as a win. We take that as these people, they ain't gonna go back on what they said to us. Saying they made a promise and they go. We have 500 treaties later, and not a single one has been kept. You understand? 500 gifts later, and we are still their slaves. So that's all that little, gesture was, a little show was to just build the tension a little bit. You saying just to make us a little bit happier. And I mean, we know that that's always a common and successful tactic on our people, because whenever we look at what the Spaniards did, you're saying, and like the English and the French, and they'd come. I'm gonna start with Spaniards. You're saying originally they came saying they were at peace and they were here to build our nation at great heights, and they bring us different that would, basically earn our trust, no matter how minor it was. You understand? We always ended up giving these people all the love that we could, even after they sat there and launched biological warfare against us. We still put our trust in them. We still welcomed, even after they were ultimately decimated from whatever it is that our enemy has unleashed upon us. You understand? We gotta stop being so easily, persuaded by our enemies. So we should have some type of integrity about us as a nation. I mean, any other people have some type of integrity about them. You're saying you can accept gifts, but don't sit there and fold on everything that you believe in order to receive a gift. You don't see no African doing it, who, supposedly have been one of the people most ravaged by our oppressors. You're saying you don't see the Arabs doing it, who has been at war with our enemies for a long time. You don't see Asians doing it. East Indians, you don't see these other nations who simply forget about the crimes committed against them and fold in on. Saying recently with, what's been going on in a lot of our communities, or specifically with the, opioid crisis, not in America, because we don't give a damn about our oppressor who is suffering. And saying they didn't care about us when we were out here, suffering on crack cocaine in the ghettos. You understand? They didn't care about us when we were suffering from the opioids and meth in the reservations. And same thing in the barrios. You understand? But when we sit there and we care about our own, which is what, a native Indian community outside the res is doing, saying looking to build it's like an opioid recovery facility on their lands in order to help those of us that have been, afflicted by this demon, who have been addicts and suffering. And when the communities of our oppressor gets wind of it, saying these can't help out, you're used to help out. Saying the hatred these people have for us is so deep that they would rather we stay addicts and suffering than getting better. Understand? So these people told our Gadite brothers, like, you can't be building these type of facilities here. This isn't the place for it. You're not doing this in our community. Pandemic get a little worse in their all white community, and they're going to be all for building a facility, except it's going to be a facility that is operated and ran by them instead of us. So therefore, we already know what's going to happen to all of our addicts. Any type of help. You're saying you're going to have to drive or fly out to a different, city or state in order to get the help that you need. You're saying, but that's always been a common tactic of our oppressor. You're saying to reject us, the aid that we need. But when it comes to their own, shoot, you gotta get that built ASAP. You gotta get these supplies out there immediately. So that just goes to show you not only the hypocrisy, but the hatred that these people have for us. So they've been saying for years how we've got to stop this opioid epidemic. Understand how it is we got to get facilities out here. They got all this funding for it. But as soon as some savages want to go out and help our own communities, it's a problem. It's something you can't do. So, but if these people truly loved everybody like they claim, the facility should be no problem. You understand? Our oppressors should be putting their own money towards ensuring that the same people who they've stolen this land from, the same people that they have taken every single resource from, and ultimately decimated, you would think that they would try to build us up just a little bit. So you think that they'd contribute just a little more, resources and land to us as a nation. But instead, they're stripping more and more away from us out in our own lands. You're saying, what do you think these pipelines were? They were land grabs. It was, resources stolen. And not only resources, but it's going to also be, people that come up missing, people that come up, wounded or dead, which we can tell from all the rubber bullets, the military equipment, the dogs, you understand, the damn pepper spray, all these different tactics that were used against us. I mean, that just goes to show you how much hatred it is that these people really have for us. And they're going to continue to have this hatred until, we're set up above them, until it is that their nation is brought down very low by the Lord, and we are brought up high above them. But until we come back to keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, this is always how things are going to be. We're always going to be on the bottom. They're always going to be on the top. But once we start doing what it is the Lord told us to do as a nation, sure, we're going to start rising above. And it's going to be, a quick ascension. It's not going to be, something that's going to happen in 100 years. Something that's going to happen in 50 years. You know what I'm saying? The Lord can make it happen within a blink of an eye. We're going to go to verse 25. Give you a second to get there. Verse 25. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. It says, so even with what has been going on, in the recent months, and really, since our shores, because nothing has ever changed, no matter what time period it is. So our oppressor always makes sure that he kills us any chance that he can get. And so even with this global pandemic that was going on with our, oppressor sitting there saying social distancing and shutting things down, saying that never stops, or it hasn't stopped our, sisters from being taken. Saying which when our sisters are taken, we already know what's happening to them. He's saying it hasn't stopped our brothers from being slayed in the reservations by our, tribal police who are influenced, sluggy, who are influenced by our oppressor. He's saying, and his quotas that he has set forth, even for his police out in the United States. And saying just because we are what is considered a sovereign nation, it doesn't mean that we are, freely doing as we please, that we can freely keep out our oppressor from our lands. You understand? Because it's never been the case. So they used to come and invade our lands then, even when we had reservations, murdering and raping and pillaging, and they still do the same thing till this day. See, until this very day, they still come onto our lands and murder us whenever they feel free. See, that has always been what you call like a tradition of our oppressor. So it doesn't matter if we're at our lowest point or our highest point. So it don't matter if he came just to slaughter, thousands of buffalo to starve us out, or if he came to shoot it out with us in person. So our oppressor always seems to find time to slay us, no matter what is going on. When the Revolutionary War was going on, there was a brief little ceasefire, but at the same time, they were still on a full-out war with us as a nation. And it wasn't just, what you call Americans today. It's also the British. Saying we had two sides essentially fighting a two-front war, for land, but they were still trying to wipe us out. Same thing was going on with the Civil War, especially the Civil War. You understand? You had people fighting for slaves. You understand? And both sides were still gunning for us. Regular people not fighting in wars were still gunning for the tribe of Gad, so-called Native Indians. You say no matter what it is that is going on, our oppressor is always seeking to just spill our blood. You understand? Our oppressor has always been bloodthirsty from before 1492 up to 1492 up to today, up to 2020. So it doesn't matter what time period it is. These people are always going to have just such a deep hatred for us, which is in the scriptures. You understand? The Lord said they would have a perpetual hatred. Saying which meaning everlasting hatred, a hatred that lasts forever till the end of days, or their days, Salakia. So this is something that is important for us to realize, because a lot of us love to seem to think that we can simply change the minds of our oppressor. If we give them enough love, that they'll stop having hatred for us, that they'll stop taking our women, stop pumping drugs into our communities, that they'll stop lying to us. But that's simply not the case, and it's never going to be the case. So we've been showing them love for 400 plus years. Has that stopped them? Has that changed their hearts? Have the spirits came out and touched their souls, their spirits? He said, there ain't nothing, and I mean nothing, upon the face of this earth that will cause for our enemy to love us. And to stop trying to murder us. There's no distance we can go as a people to where these people are not track us down and try to murder us. It's really something so simple that even, children get it. And a lot of us might not believe it, but sure, you can look up The video with Philando Castile of his, girlfriend and their daughter when they were back in the back of the police car. And saying, a child, they even know that this place ain't safe for us as a nation. He might say, well, that's black people. Wouldn't have natives and Hispanics not been treated just like black people? Matter of fact, who upon the face of this earth has our oppressor ever treated the same type of way as us? So they ain't never treated no African, no Asian, no Arab or East Indian like they treat blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. It's lucky. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them. So us as a people, perfect example, especially in the past, of how we'd go out one way against our enemy, against our oppressor. And so we would all be on one accord. So it would be the American Indian Wars. Where we would sit there and engage in, different conflicts with the U.S. government, whether it was over them taking land, them coming in and massacring, villages of our people, taking resources, taking women, or if simply we're just deprived of resources and we got to go out and get something. We always manage to create like a confederacy, people that's on one accord. And every single time that we do it, we always ended up failing. We'd always end up, having to scatter in every single direction to really survive. And you can look up, multiple battles or paintings that we have lost. So like paintings of battles that we have lost. And they'll depict how it is that the tribe of Gad, so-called Native Indians, are just fleeing in every single direction to escape whatever, slaughter was that we were facing. And the same thing can be said about, today. For instance, when we look at the pipelines and how it is that we joined with our Black and Hispanic brothers. But ultimately, we ended up failing because we allowed our oppressor to join our ranks, and shoot, what happened? We scattered in every single direction, trying to escape the dogs, the tear gas, the rubber bullets. Understand the raid of men with riot shields and batons. And the same thing is going to happen with the movement that is going on today with, this brother that was ruthlessly murdered, George Floyd. So yeah, we got, Black Lives Matter and so-called African Americans sitting there and protesting, but we also got our people trying to join in solidarity with our brothers. We got Hispanics that are joining in solidarity with our brothers who are going out and marching on ICE facilities. You understand? Doing the same thing that our so-called African American brothers are doing. You're saying all the tribes are doing it. And in some type of effort to stop the, ruthless murders of our people that have been going on since the founding of this country. You say, well, no matter how much we sit there and march and protest other governments, we're always going to come up short. And we're never truly going to get out of the condition that we are in and that we've been in for so long. I'm going to get some more of this scripture real quick. And shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. So we'll band together with our brothers at first, You know what I'm saying? In solidarity, ready to put up a fight. But at the end of the day, when we take that loss and we just scatter seeking to survive, I mean, we're going to be going into every kingdom. Saying we've been doing that specifically for a long time. And saying we've been running to Slovakia. We've been running to, you know, like the UN and these different countries seeking some type of assistance in what it is that's going on with our people. You see, seeking some, you know, just some type of help so that what has been going on for so long will finally cease to exist, will cease to happen to us. But no matter how no matter how many of these nations we run to, and how many meetings we have, and you know, agreements that are drawn up and signed, our people, we will never truly be free from our oppressor. We'll never truly be free from these curses for as long as we sit there and defy the Lord. So for as long as we would much rather follow in the ways of the same people who are murdering us, the same people who are pumping drugs into our, you know, sovereign nations, the same ones that have been lying on agreements, and same ones that come in and steal the women out of our lands. I mean, as long as we follow in their ways, there's no true way for us to truly heal and to rise above what it is that we've been suffering from for so long. So a lot of our people talk about, you know, healing as a nation, but when we follow after our oppressor in the ways of this country, a country which was built off of racism, that was built off of the backs of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, I mean, how is it that we can truly come up? You see, how is it that we can develop, you know, a mentality that is not of a slave if we keep following after these ways? Saying that, and that doesn't, you know, say to go out and follow some different heathens' views. I'm saying to follow his ways, because those aren't meant for us either. You're saying even, you know, these different heathen nations, even their ways still oppress us. You're saying you got goddamn Africans that call Black people akatas, which is cotton pickers. So don't think that we can just run this to another nation in a different land and think that they're going to help us out of the kindness of their hearts. Because it's not going to happen. It hasn't happened, and it's not going to happen. You say any nation tries to help us, it's because they got an ulterior motive, which is something that our people have to learn if we're trying to truly better ourselves. We're going to go to verse 26. Slovakia. Let me get time check. Let's actually skip down to verse 33. I'll give you a second to get there. And we might have a lot of people out there sitting there saying, "Oh, well, you got, you know, the who's it, the Japanese or the Chinese, the Asians over there protesting about the condition that we're in as a people, and how it is that what America does to us is wrong." And you got Arabs and I don't know, fucking Africans and all the different heathen nations. But like I said before, we gotta remember these people have ulterior motives. You're saying they all got their own motives. You're saying all these people once had the 12 tribes of Israel, the nation of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, they all had us as slaves at one time. And whilst we were their slaves, guess what? They were the most powerful and prominent nations on the earth. And then guess what? We end up earning our freedom. We would flee from these people, and then the next nation that would take us as as slaves, they would become prominent and powerful nations. And saying all these different nations, they are not trying to help, blacks, Hispanics, and natives because they feel sorry for us, because they got love for us, because they believe that we're all one people. Oh yeah, we all bleed red. Just they do it because they know that if they can get us on their side, then guess what? They're gonna return to their once great power. Instead of China, you got all these different powerful dynasties that came up. It's like you. Instead to really rule the earth. Just like in Africa, you had these different, kingdoms that came up to rule. And in the Middle East, you're saying East India. Now you got the United States. It's like you also got Europe. Like that's what happens when you get the children of Israel as slaves. You end up ruling the earth. You understand? Because you get the power that comes with them. You understand? Because we'll work for you. You understand? We'll create inventions. We'll make sure that your economy stays afloat. We'll fight in your wars. You understand? Because without a doubt, we are the greatest warriors upon the face of this earth. You understand? History itself will tell you that. You said you got Gadites with, blades and tomahawks and spears and bows taking on full-on militaries that got muskets and cannons. You're saying you got Hispanic brothers with nothing but, war clubs and the hell they called, damn, what are they called? It's like I can't remember the name of their weapon, but basically, they have blades made out of, I think it was like volcanic glass, something like that, and they have their little swords made out of it too. But yeah, our Hispanic brothers were taking on conquistadors who had full-on metal armor, had full-on metal swords, and they beaten devils to death with their bare hands. You understand? Slaves who would take over entire, slave ships in an attempt to free their people whom were captured on the ships. You understand? You can't tell me that we're not the greatest warriors, that we're not the strongest, not the fastest, the smartest, the greatest. And so when you got all that contributing to your military, you got all that contributing to, your economy, you got it contributing to, the education of your people and to your society as a whole. I mean, you're going to come out on top. You understand? All right, we're going to go to verse 34. Wait, Slacky, 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall nation which thou knowest not eat up. Slacky. And so just like in the past, back when any one of these kingdoms that our enemy has established invades our lands, the Spanish, the French, Portuguese, and you got Russians, Germans, you're saying really all of these different European powers who have invaded our lands, you're saying they always took the best that they could from us. And a perfect example really is, Trail of Tears. You understand? A perfect example would be, the 13 colonies which our oppressor had set up on our land. You're saying all these different, actions that our oppressor has taken in order to solidify his stronghold in these lands. It all came from taking, what it is that we have built. I'm saying, because you got to remember, even though it's not documented like in the history books in the school, like we had cities as people, and we had massive cities. You see, we had highly advanced like water filtration, advanced, ways to, grow crops and to gather them. Really, we had advanced technology for the time being as a nation. You know, something greater than anything that our oppressor could have came up with. And our oppressor came and took all of it and claimed it for himself, which is why you have devils out here saying, to go back to their land when this is our land. So this is where our people have always been. For our Hispanic brothers that are suffering in the ICE facilities, you saying half of this land was theirs. Saying half of it belonged to them. Well, now, because our oppressor is the devil and likes to wage war and claim things for his own, now guess what? Now our brothers are considered illegal aliens on land that is rightfully theirs. And the sad part is that there are a bunch of our people, and when I say I'm speaking specifically for the reservations, so-called Native Indians, a lot of us sit there and say, oh, well, you know what? The Hispanics, they are illegal aliens. They never belonged in this land, saying all of it was ours. But historically, that's not the case. I mean, we're all one people, so really it is all ours. But our Hispanic brothers that I had always owned, the West Coast. He said they didn't just push in through war or any other type of nonsense you want to spew out. You understand? And the same thing goes for, so-called African Americans. You understand? We always had our brothers mingled in with the different tribes. You understand? Because, I mean, if that wasn't the case, then we would have never of out here risking war with a nation that was highly advanced in tactics of war to free a bunch of people we didn't know that we wouldn't have cared about. I'm saying that's just not the case. It's like I got a little off topic. Shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up? And the same thing that has happened with all of the land grabs, the theft of goods. I mean, the same thing. It really it's happening today. Saying with the community that was trying to build a opioid recovery facility, and saying these brothers and sisters are out there, rebuilding the land, building our own, buildings, our own schooling, libraries. I believe they had a medical facility out there. And I think like one more thing, saying all that hard work that we were, building it ourselves, whether we were talking to, the government in order to get some type of funding so that we can help out our community. And then when it comes to bettering the overall health of our people, saying our oppressor comes in and tells us we can't do it. Saying they tell us our community ain't the place for that. Saying that it's not needed. Saying if this was truly our land, these people truly respected us, they wouldn't come in and sit there and try to say, you can't sit there and get your people off of drugs. And you can't go out and make sure that they recover from this crisis that we have caused. And I shall be only oppressed and crushed always. So with us, just like with us trying to build that facility, and these devils saying that they're gonna physically prevent that from happening, which I mean, it truly is no big surprise, or it shouldn't be. Like, we really shouldn't be surprised by anything these people do now. I say, because I mean, they've been doing it for 400 plus years. So why would it be anything new to us? You see, so just like they're oppressing them brothers and sisters out there trying to better their own community off of the res. I mean, the same thing is happening like on the res. So we can use I mean, we can use the COVID-19 crisis for a perfect example. You understand? So, for instance, we're promised all this funding by our oppressor. You understand? The U.S. government, and medical supplies like and food, the whole shebang, which really we should have known was nothing more than empty words. Saying it was something just to gas us up and to make sure that we don't revolt. Empty promises like they've always been doing to us since the beginning. You understand? So till this day, with the COVID-19 going on, we still got supplies that have not been delivered that are being distributed throughout the United States to cities, the treasured cities throughout the lands. You say instead of us getting medical supplies, instead they send us body bags. You say, and we've had to really, we're still fighting to this day to get the proper funding or medical funding that the government promised the native tribes. So I believe they, I think it was only like the most prominent tribes that have been paid so far. Like Navajo Nation, we got a little sliver of money, but this was after weeks of taking the U.S. government to court. You're saying basically suing the U.S. Treasury in order for us to get what it was promised to us. You see, if we weren't a oppressed people, we shouldn't have had done any of that. You see, really, that should have just been, given out to us. You see, it shouldn't have been any type of issue, any type of concern. But in actuality, we shouldn't have even needed any type of funding from the U.S. government. Really, that should have been something we could do on our own. If we're supposed to be our own sovereign nation who can provide for themselves, really, we should have all of the necessities in order to supply our own communities and to supply our, our different towns, the different little communities outside the towns, the ones out in the boonies. But because we are a oppressed people, and because we rely so heavily on our oppressor, I mean, we can't simply do that. It's lucky. I'm going to go to verse 34. Verse 34. So that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see. So that's just common sense. He's saying anybody, really everybody, should be mad at whenever they look at our communities. You're saying whether we're just driving through the countryside, going to the next town, whenever we see something popping up on the news or hear something from our government. You understand? Us as a nation, like, we should be furious about the lies that have been told to us. He said we should be furious at the oppression that we've been going through for over 400 years, since 1492. But because we've been raised to be nothing more than slaves, I mean, we simply believe that we can, change things. We can come up above. Times have changed. Times are going to change. We've been saying that for a very, very long time, for generations. So if times are going to change, why haven't they yet? Look at how it is we got communities outside the res being prevented by everyday people from building a recovery facility. We should be mad at that as a people, as a whole, not just a specific tribe, not just a specific community, as a whole, as a single solid nation. Saying not only should we be mad at the mistreatment of our people, but we should also be mad at how it is that our hard work, all that we have done, is simply taken for granted by our oppressor. I'm not saying we should give a damn about what they think, but when we look at how it is that we have built America alongside our brothers as slaves, as, and as willing participants in, helping American society prosper and, move along. And then we got sisters sitting there that have been told, go back to your country, who was, sister was Native Indian. He's saying we should be mad at these things. You understand? Because these people, all the love that we have given them, and they don't give a good goddamn about us as a nation. But Sure, that ain't gonna stop us from giving them all our love. You know what I'm saying? They could march up into, any reservation they wanted, causing all type of havoc. And because we are such Christians and have been, conditioned to be such good slaves, we'll still love these people. You understand? We'll still want to, join to them and pick out what we call the good ones. When, it don't make any sense to trust a bunch of snakes. It don't matter if they're poisonous snakes or not. You know, saying they could be a goddamn gardener snake, but guess what? It don't mean we should still join to them. A snake's a snake. We're going to skip to verse 44. Actually, it's like we're going to go through verse 43 real quick and then verse 44. Give you a couple more seconds. Verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high. So just like whenever, Columbus and his band of, thieves and murderers and rapists, he's saying just, bad dudes. Whenever his band arrived, he said this was someone we didn't know at all. He's saying he came from a nation that we did not know. He was a stranger. He's saying he was, these people were someone that we didn't know. Like, oh shoot, they come talking about peace. He's talking about helping build our nation up and wanting to build prosperity between the two people. Shit, that's someone we can trust right there. Saying we didn't know that simply was not the case. And after these devils got done not only spreading lies amongst different people, it's like amongst different tribes, causing for us to clash against one another. After he was done with his biological warfare and he went on his, murdering spree and his raping and pillaging, you understand, after all this, after he's done everything that he could destroy our nation and really try to wipe us off the earth, he got high above us as a people. They took, I believe today it'd be like, it was like $3 or $4 billion from, like, in gold and silver from, Central America and South America. You understand? ensuring that his nation comes up and is, the richest above, all these different nations. Saying leaving our people in such a dire position is, and they truly came up above us. Is, and when in the past we were the ones that made sure they survived when they came to these. So we had to show them how to grow crops, saying how to adapt to the environment. Saying we made sure that they knew how to get from city to city in order to survive. And saying we did all these different things, showing a brotherhood to a bunch of rabid beasts, not knowing that it would spell the demise for our nation. You know, saying, and then the same thing, it's happened today. I mean, it's like we're obviously not above our oppressor, even with our sovereign nations that we have, going on throughout the lands. Even if we combine our full, might, our full, all of our agriculture and, economic power or wealth and our people, like we're still not going to be anywhere near our oppressor. You understand? And that includes, even these oppressors across the sea, whom nobody has really even knows or have heard about in a long time. So we're about to get into that, though. Slacky. And that shall come down very low. And so you can just drive through the reservations and you can see how low we are as people. You understand? You can look up, really, you can just look up like any type of, video of a Gadite talking about problems in our communities. You can look up any videos seeing the condition that it is that we're living in, inside of our homes, our job situations, how it is that we are, targeted by our oppressor and jailed, how it is that our, medical facilities ain't up to par with shit, how it is that people in our community are addicted to numerous things. You understand? You got abortions, you got, women being whores and just having babies. I mean, we got a plethora of problems inside of our communities that, really nobody besides the I.S.U.P.K are addressing. Saying we don't have these leaders out here truly trying to fix what's going on with our people. And saying we don't have no, outside power, U.S. government, or in a foreign country trying to help our people, nor should we depend on any of them. And it don't matter how much it is you boast these people up, they are not for us. You saying you can boast up, goddamn, who was it? Like Bernie Sanders or Barack Obama, whatever ridiculous, heathen you want to sit there and boast. Like, these people are not going to help us come up out of because it don't benefit them. You understand? Hey, we aren't their people, so why would they go out of their way and risk their careers, risk their money, and saying the power that it is that they have in order to help a bunch of savages come up out of the gutters? And it don't make any goddamn sense. You understand? But there's truly only one group of people that are like-minded, that are about getting the niggas out of the ghettos. You understand? The damn spics of the barrios, the savages out of the reservations. There's only one organization doing everything in their power in order to get us up out of this captivity that we are in and that we've been under Command of GEN.YAHANNA. So ain't nobody else doing this. Ain't nobody else going to do it. Verse 44, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. You know, so, some that's been, boasted as of, recent in the news, is how the stinging Irish sat there and sent supplies, to, the, I believe it was Navajo Nation, really natives in general for the COVID-19 to repay some, type of debt. You understand? Not only, of course, we have to recognize this is some type of ulterior motive, but that just goes to show you how low we are as a people that the Irish are going to sit there and send a bunch of supplies and send some funding to, the reservations, to the Gadites. So I believe even the Koreans sent some supplies, or my bad, Slovakia, some funding to the Gadites in order to help us get through, these hard times. And guess what? We are never going to be able to repay that debt to these people. So we don't have money we can just throw away and send overseas to a nation of people that we have never even met. And we are never going to meet them. But you know what they will do? They'll demand for something from us. I'm saying that's when that ulterior motive kicks in, and they want some type of back pay on what it is that they've sent. You're saying there ain't a single nation on the face of this earth that simply does things out of the kindness of their heart. You're saying if it's like when I say that, I don't mean, Hispanics, because Hispanics are the same as blacks and natives. You're saying we're all one people. Saying we're the most compassionate people out there. Understand? Slovakia. I'll get into the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. Start out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Book of Numbers, chapter 18 and 21. Book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. It means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to treasury department or teacher. Priest fund. It's a free will offering for priests. It's not mandatory. It's whatsoever amount you would like. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or a war scarf, With that said, I imagine Wapuni Hakwadam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to be starting out with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawo, Shabashamayim, Kodash, Haya, Shimka, Ya'aw, Malakwithka, Taba'a, Ratazaika, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Haya, Bashamayim, Nathan, Lenawa, Lekum, Call, Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Kawabawatha Slaki, Kasalakanawa, Kawabawatha Yanawa, Wala'a, Babayayanawa, Banasaya 1, a ball, Hawashayanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Waha'ala, Wahataparith, La'awalamyam. The Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation from evil, for thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Amen. The prayer for the Hakak, or the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Baba Kasha, Nathanael, Hakak, Hakak, La Rapa'ah, Kal Makala, Wakal Marawa, Hakak, La Tahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakak, La Hakim, Hakak, Al Rakawath, Hatama'alu, Lagarshan, Bashim Shai, the Waraman. The prayer for the power in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you. So be it. The prayer for the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shai. Wam Yaka'ala. Wala'ayim. Matazab Ya'at. Alawap Yahanna. Ha'alawapyam. Hazaranyam. Hakwatazayanyam. Hakayayayam. Wahakwathian. Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. The Waraman. Pray for the blessings in the English. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahanna, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. The anointing prayer in the Hebrew. Yabarak Slaki. Yabaraka. Yahweh. Wayashamarka. Pun Yahweh. Wayakanka. Yahweh. Pun Yahweh. Wayashun. Lakat. Shalom. Yahweh. Bashim Yahushai. Barak. Rapun. Slakia. Barak. Rapah. Magun. Hagun. All the destroyed of Israel. Done. In the English. Yahweh thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee, and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee, and give thee peace. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, bless, heal, shield, protect the loved ones we just named. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the pockets of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the Edomites, and the nations, and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the terrorists. Cause them to go to and fro through the earth and destroy. Cause the terrorists to come against America and destroy them in their strongholds. Let America shake at the hands of the terrorists. Let Yahushua, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and destroy all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the in the name of Yahushua. Thank you. Always so be it. Sar, which means turn. I'm going to give a crazy salute to the brothers, men of Israel, Amadim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahaba Shem Zamatah. I'm going to give a crazy salute to the sisters, Amajim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Shemar al Dun by Shem Yahushai. Yazamatah, class dismissed.